just start with a book straight away.
Okay. Just give me 1 minute.
I want to try and get a reasonable part of the chapter read today. So we started reading this book called "What You're Looking For Is in the Library" by Michiko Aoyama, and we read only a little bit about it, about Tomoka. Anybody remember anything about Tomoka? Okay. Anybody remember anything about Tomoka? Anything that you remember at all? Myra, you were there last time. Do you remember anything? Meenakshi, do you remember? Myra, you were unmuted and muted again. So, anybody else? Anybody? Anything? Remember anything about Tomoka? Where does Tomoka live? Right. Tomoka lives in Tokyo. Right. She's finished college. She's taken up a job in a general merchandise store called Eden. She's on the garment side. She's a sales assistant. She's got a permanent job. Uh, she grew up in uh, in the countryside, and her main objective growing up was how to get out of the countryside. Her friend Saya thinks she's a hero because she's managed to get out of the countryside and come to Tokyo. And her own impression is, you know, obviously grass is greener on the other side, but her impression on Tokyo, it didn't turn out exactly like that, but it's still much, much better, she thinks, versus the country life. Uh, she works on the weekends, no boyfriend, and just the last bit that we read last time, she's thinking maybe she should get a new job. Right. Uh, a little bit about how she's thinking and how she's feeling. She feels fairly overwhelmed. She underrates herself. She thinks she has no skills, and she feels she doesn't have any burning desire to do something. Right. We also came across pieces of Japanese culture. Did anybody remember anything? So you'll keep seeing that throughout the book. Anything you remember in Japanese culture that we came across? Okay. How they how they bow before when they meet or when they leave. The respect for elders. Their interest in retail. There are lots of retail uh, all over, and we came across all kinds of retail outlets. We also came across how their desire to look good, or the desire to look good, and uh, the the colleague of Tomoka, she's sort of always brushes up her lipstick and stuff during her lunch break. So that's few things we came across in Japanese culture. So, okay, let me start reading. Hey Tomoka, calls Kiriyama. He works behind the counter at the in-store brand of Verizet, a chain selling spectacles. He's 25, 4 years older than me, and the only person at Eden I can really talk to. His eyes are friendly. He started working here 4 months ago, but I haven't seen him in a while. Because he's an employee of SAS, not Eden, he sometimes gets called to help at other SAS branches. Kiriyama is holding a tray loaded with deep fried mackerel for fish, set lunch, and a bowl of udon noodles topped with meat. For someone so thin, he really eats a lot. Right? Udon are flat Japanese noodles. Okay, if I join you, sure, I tell him, and he sits down opposite me. He wears thin frame round glasses that really suit him. You can tell he's doing exactly what he should be doing. Though I remember hearing that he did other work before that. Kiriyama, what did you used to do? I asked. Do me? Ah, print production, magazine, that kind of thing. Editing, writing, stuff like that. Really? Wow, I didn't know he'd worked in publishing. All of a sudden, my impression of him switches from gentle mannered, nice guy to smart intellectual. So even previous jobs have the power to influence your image of a person. Why so surprised? But you had an amazing job. Hirayama smiles and slurps down his noodles. Working in a glasses shop is also amazing. Oh, sure, yeah. I smile too and take a bit of my sausage bread. Amazing is your favorite word, isn't it, Tomoka? Maybe. You might be right though. When Saya was telling me about her boyfriend, I might have used the word amazing more than a few times. What do I think is amazing? I wonder. A special talent, a deep knowledge of something, a unique skill. I'm going to end up in Eden for the rest of my life, I whisper into my strawberry milk. What's up? Do you want to change jobs? Yeah, I say after a pause. I've been thinking about it lately. Do you still want to work in customer service? Yeah, but I don't mind working in an office so I can have weekends off and wear whatever I like and have my own desk. I could go to a cafe near work for lunch and with my colleagues and bitch about the boss in the tea room. I don't hear anything about the actual job in any of these scenarios, says Kiriyama. That can't be helped. I mean, I don't even know myself what kind of job I want to do. But you're a permanent, Tomoka. In a few years, you can transfer to head office, can't you? I guess so, but after starting with the company, permanent staff have to put in 3 years at a branch store. Once you have the sales experience, you can apply for a transfer to head office. You can try for general affairs or human affairs or product development and become a buyer of an or an event planner. Any of these would suit me. But I'd also heard that in reality, the chances of a transfer application being approved were low. The most realistic outcome was rising to division chief, like my uninspiring boss. Mr. Ueshima is 35 and has been in the same position for the last 5 years. When I look at him, I get the feeling that this is all I can ever hope for, even if things go well. Sure, I might get a promotion, but the work would be the same. The only thing that would be different is having more responsibility, supervising the part-time staff mainly. Just the thought of it gives me the heebie-jeebies, right? It's when you feel nervous or anxious. The pay might be a bit better, but I really don't feel I could pull it off. How do you find the job at Zal? I asked Kiriyama. How did you find the job at Zal? I asked Kiriyama. I registered on a career change site and got a good response, so I chose from the offer. He pulls out his smartphone to show me the site. You select the descriptions matching the kind of work you're looking for, give details of your experience and skills, and wait for emails with matching offers. The information required seems to be quite specific. Qualifications, English proficiency scores, driving license. Just tick the boxes. But I don't have any skills, only level 3 for the English proficiency test. I wish I had at least had my driving license. Back home, everybody used to register for driving lessons in the spring vacation immediately after finishing high school because that's the kind of place it was. You can't do anything if you don't drive. But I was going off to college in Tokyo, so I didn't think I needed to, and instead I spent my last vacation mucking about. Right, mucking about basically suggests wasting her time, not doing anything consequential. While scanning the site registration form, I noticed that computer skills are listed: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, plus others I've never ever heard of. I do at least own a laptop. I used it at college for writing reports and my dissertation. Dissertation is like a research paper. But once I started working, I didn't need to write that kind of thing anymore. So when my router broke, I wouldn't be bothered buying another or getting it connected to Wi Fi. Mainly because I didn't know how to, and I haven't used it since. Almost everything I need to, I can do on my smartphone. I can use Word, I guess, but not Excel. If you want to work in an office, you have to know Excel. Computer courses are expensive though. You don't have to go on computer courses, Kiriyama tells you. Community centers often have that kind of thing. Cheap classes for local residents. What? Really? I didn't know that. I say, looking down at the time on my wristwatch while I fold up the plastic wrappers from my lunch. Only 10 minutes of break left. I should get back to the till 3 minutes before time, or Mrs. Zumauchi will be on my case again. But I need to go to the toilet first. Draining the last of my strawberry milk in one gulp, I stand up and leave. Okay, so let's just stop here for a bit. A couple of interesting things we came across, right? So Tomoka feels that Kiriyama is the only person at Eden that she can really talk to, right? So, what is something in somebody which makes us feel that we can talk to them? What do you think? Right? What is the quality in somebody which has makes us feel that we can talk to them? Yes, Myra.
Sir, I feel like it's when the other person is able to understand us and we have almost the same opinions, like we look at things the same way.
Okay, when the person has the same opinion and the person can understand us. So now let me ask you, is it more valuable to talk to somebody when they have a different opinion or the same opinion as us? Right or wrong answers.
The, by opinions, I mean like the same interest or the same way they look at things. So, like for example, uh, if there are two people and wants to live in a city, whereas the other wants to live in a village, then their friendship cannot work out because it'll be really difficult. So basically, they have the same kind of interests.
Right. So maybe opinion was not the right choice of words. Yes, same interest. But let me push back further. For the example you gave, so if you know I don't like living in a countryside, I like living in a city, and I haven't experienced living in a countryside. Uh, I just have an impression. Maybe worth talking to somebody, right, who's lived there, try and understand it a little bit.
Yes, sir.
What? point I'm trying to make is that I understand what you said, and I agree with the first part that you said, that if they understand, which means they're willing to listen to you, and they come across as communicative, and with simple thing like a smile, right, will sort of encourage you to talk to them, right? And yeah, uh, understanding helps a lot. If the person has similar interests, that helps a lot. Uh, yeah, similar values helps a lot. Okay. So then she makes a comment, or she thinks that his eyes are friendly. So how do we judge if eyes are friendly? Is it easy to judge, right? Karthik, when he talked about communication in his first session, talked about non-verbal communication. So can you think of it? Think of when eyes are friendly or when they are not so friendly. Let's just say, how would the eyes look like if they're not so friendly?
Then I think like we would say that eyes are not friendly when they're like very scrutinizing, or and we could say that they are friendly when the eyes are soft.
Yeah, so when they're scrutinizing, you sort of narrow your eyes a little bit, right? So I think
So,
I mean, it seems to me that's what happens, right? When you're scrutinizing, you narrow your eyes, and otherwise, your eyes are a little more open, right? And obviously, you're seeing the person is smiling. Then do you sometimes get a feeling that the eyes are also smiling?
yes, sir.
Yeah, because I don't know where it stops and where it ends. I mean, it starts and where it ends in terms of the smile, and is it the smile that's making you feel like that, or the eyes, whatever. But somehow one gets the feeling sometimes that the eyes are also smiling, right? Anybody else? Any thoughts on the first two things we just talked about? How do you, uh, I mean, what is it that makes you comfortable to talk to somebody, or how do you know if the eyes are smiling? Anybody else like to chip in on that? Very quiet today, Meenakshi. Okay, okay. Let's let's see what else was there. Right. So the point around talking to somebody else, I think, came across who's had a different experience, also comes across because, uh, she asked Kiriyama how he got his job, and she finds out something new, right? So that's the other value of talking to somebody. And many times, we are shy to do that, right? So it's good to have conversations with uh, folks who have a different experience from yourself. Okay, let's get back to the book. Later that evening, I tapped out Hattori, the name of the ward where I live, ward residence and computer class on my smartphone. And wow, I can't believe it, the number of hits. Who would have thought there was so much out there? My eyes rest on a link that says Hattori Community House. It seems to be connected to an elementary school less than 10 minutes walk from my apartment. I click for information. This place has all kinds of classes and events. Shogi, which is Japanese chess. Haiku. Haiku is a formal Japanese poem. Rhythmics, right? It's just music and dance combined. Hula dancing. That's the Hawaiian dance. Exercise classes. A lot of flowering arrangement classes and lectures on different topics. I've never heard of an elementary school doing this kind of thing, let alone one I've lived near for the last 3 years. The computer class costs 2000 yen a time. and is held every Wednesday from 2 to 4, which is great for me, especially as this coming Wednesday happens to be my rostered day off. Students can take their own laptop or borrow one at the class. Lessons are customized, but it's not a course that you can attend whenever you want. I read the teacher's introductory message. Beginners welcome. Study at your own pace with individual guidance. Instruction in basic computer skills. Word, Excel, building a website and programming. Why Gono? Already I can see myself using Excel like a pro. And for the first time in a long while, I feel slightly excited about something. Myra, do you want to read? Oh, Myra, do you want to read?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Start from 2 days later.
2 days later, I'm standing outside the elementary school with my laptop in hand. I follow the directions from the community house page, homepage, and walk along the school fence until I reach a narrow road. There it is, a two-story white building with a sign over the canopy at the entrance that says Hattori Community House. I go through a glass door and see an old guy with bushy gray hair at the front desk. In the office behind him, a woman with a bandana sits at the desk writing something. Um, I'm here for the computer class, I say to the old guy. Put your name down here. It's in meeting room A. He points at a folder on the countertop. A sheet of paper inside has a table with columns ahead. Name, purpose of visit, time of arrival, time of departure. Meeting room A is on the ground floor. Going past the front desk to the lobby, I turn right and find it immediately. Through an open sliding door, I can see two students sitting at long tables facing each other with their laptops open. A girl, a bit older than me, with soft wavy hair, and an old guy with a square face. The teacher turns out to be a woman, not a man. Miss Gono is probably in her 50s. I go over and introduce myself. Hello, my name is Tomoko Fujiki. She gives me a friendly smile. Please sit wherever you like. I choose to sit at the same table as the girl, but at the other end. She and the old guy are concentrating so hard on their own stuff, they take no notice of me. I open my laptop, which I'd already started up at home since I haven't used it in ages and which took forever to boot. My fingers feel like bananas on the keyboard. Probably because I only ever use a smartphone. I should probably do some practice in Word as well. Miss Fujiki, you want to learn Excel, don't you? Says Miss Kono, glancing down at my computer. Yes, but this computer doesn't have Excel. She looks at my screen again and moves the mouse around a bit. Yes, it does. I'll make a shortcut for you. A green icon with an X for Excel appears at the edge of the screen. No way! Excel has been hiding in my computer all along? I can see you've used Word, so I assume you have Office installed. I don't have a clue what she was talking about. But I did ask a friend at college to set up Word for me when I couldn't figure it out for myself. Maybe that's how it got in here. This is what happens when you leave stuff up to other people. For the next 2 hours, I learn all about Excel. Miss Connor wanders between me and the other two, but I get special attention because I'm the newcomer, I suppose. The most amazing thing I learned is how to perform addition by highlighting cells. Just press a key and bam! With one touch, they all add up. It impresses me so much, I can't help cheering, which Miss Connor seems to find funny. While practicing as instructed, I overhear the conversation between Miss Connor and the other students. I get the impression They are regulars. The old guy is building a website about wildflowers, while the girl is setting up an online shop. I feel like such a waster. All the time I've been lazing around in my apartment doing nothing. Not far away, these two have been getting on with stuff, learning things. The more I think about it, the more pathetic it makes me feel. When it's nearly time to finish, Miss Garner says, there's no set textbook, but I'll give you a list of recommendation titles. Don't restrict yourself to these though. Have a browser in a library or bookshop and see what you can find for yourself. That's easy to follow. She holds up a computer guide and smiles. You might like to look in the library here in Community House. Library? What a nice sounding word. So comforting. I feel like I'm a student again. Library. Am I allowed to borrow books? Yes, anybody who lives in the ward can borrow up to 6 books for 2 weeks. I think that's the rule. Then the old guy calls for help, and Miss Garner goes over to him. I make a note of the recommended titles and leave.
Okay,
The
just
library.
stop here. Stop. Stop. Okay. So, library, tell me, how does it work in your different schools? I mean, do you have a library period? Or I mean, you go there a specific time of the week, or there's no library period? Just tell me, how does it work in your school? Yes, Myra.
So we have a library period once a week. Earlier we had the whole period and we could issue one book for a week. But these days, half of the library period, we study GK, and then the other half we issue books and we can read for the rest of the time and select books and then issue it and then return it the next week and take
Right.
another. If you want to
Right.
issue it for a longer period of time, we can reissue it the next week.
Okay.
So can I?
Okay. Yes, please.
So in my school, like in my class, the library period is only in a weeks on Wednesday. So when we go to the library, we have very much of fun because this period gives us happiness and we read many books. And if we have to issue it, we can. And then we have to again, if we want that book a longer time, then as Myra, the same we have also.
Right. So once a week and Sunbeam, Balya also. Anybody else who wants to sort of tell us what they do in their school?
Sir, may I?
Yes, please.
Sir, we also have a library period in once in a week, and we go library class so we can read books or issue, and we can issue book for 1 week, and after that week we cannot issue. मतलब, we can issue in 1 week only, and after week to after week we can not.
Okay. Yeah, Manisha.
So in my school, library period is also the ASL period, assessment of speaking and listening. So it's a combined period. Children pick up a book, and then we have teachers. So they grade them, they give them the text to read, and they try to hold conversation and make them understand. And assessment is also being done at the same time.
Okay. That's good. So it seems that everybody has a library period. They're getting books issued. Hopefully, they're reading the books. So, what I want to do in the Sunday school is give you a chance to review these books. Okay. So, if you want to review a particular book, please let Manisha ma'am know in advance and we can set aside some time for you to review a book that you've read. And I'd encourage you to do that. Okay, then for that, other people get to know about the book uh, that you've read as well. And as you think, about the writing the review, and when you're writing the review, you will pick up things that you didn't realize, uh, in terms of your own understanding of the book. So I'll encourage you to uh, share a short book review. It doesn't have to be very long. It could be like 2, 3, 4 minutes. You can talk about it. You want to show us a few slides. You can show a few slides if you like. So we can stop that from next time. Just let Michiko ma'am know the before the session that you want to do that, and we'll certainly get you to do that. Okay. Any questions on that?
So may I?
Yes, please.
So it's a wonderful idea, and I was just wondering that next month, whenever I'm going to plan my February calendar, whenever we have guests, we can do it on the same day.
Yeah.
So
Any?
the guests will do, and then the book review session will be there. So the entire day, and
Yeah. If
any
there are
other
lots of books, we can
suggestion
do
is
it.
also welcome in this.
We can do it together, or if the can also, if then you know we can do it as they come up as well. But if there are lots, then we can do it that way, because I think it for people who are interested, then they get to see what other books, other books our children are reading, and they may get inspired to read those. So I think okay. So this, in the part that we just read, we also came across a lot of very typical Japanese things. And I want you to think about some Indian things, right? Shogi, which is Japanese chess. So can you think of Indian board games? Okay. Indian board game. Can you think of any? Right. Ludo, Hilashi says. But the question is, is it an Indian game? I don't know. That's the point. You are saying the same thing. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we grew up playing what? Ludo and Snakes and Ladders, right? I think this still works these days. But, and then you get older, and I think Chaucer, Anisha ma'am says, yes, that's the famous one, right? Chaucer, right? Yes, Myra.
Sir, I'm not sure if they're Indian, but Steppo and Pittu, we grew up playing these games a lot.
Yeah, but Pittu I've played. Pittu is not a board game, right?
Yeah, not a board game.
Yeah, and it's a typical Indian game, as is Guli Danda, right? As is Kabaddi, possibly Kho. I'm not sure, but Kabaddi for sure. So yeah, outdoor games, there are some typical Indian games. So when I Googled it, I forgot the name now, but there was an Indian precursor to chess, right? Okay. Some sort of typical Indian poetry, as it says, haiku is Japanese. For some Indian sort of poetry, what comes to mind when you think of poetry and India? Any specific type? What do you
The,
think? When I was in school, if I were in school, I would say Tohe. It seemed to me the form of poetry, right? What Kabirji used to write. I don't know if it's right or wrong answer, but that's what came to my mind. What else? Anything you can think of? I don't know. Does Ghazal qualify? Okay. Thank you, Nilashi. Okay. Hula dancing actually is a it's a Hawaiian traditional dance, right? And Indian traditional dances, that's an easy one. Traditional Indian dances. Anybody?
sir, Kathak, Bharatnatyam.
Kuchipudi.
Yes, yes. So, Bihu, yeah, Bhangra. So many. I think each state ends up having pretty much its own uh, very, very culturally diverse India is. And uh, it, many years
May I,
ago,
sir?
yes, please, ma'am.
There is one Punjabi Jago also, a
Yes,
traditional one.
yes, Jago. Absolutely, yes.
Jago.
Yeah. So, if you put a map of India on a map of Europe, you will find that it's pretty much uh, sort of covers east to west, north to south. Now the area is, less India is less an area versus Europe as a whole. But that's one way to think of India because each state, has its own, pretty much its own culture. So we are very, very culturally very, very rich, right? And it would, I would encourage everybody to sort of learn about the culture of the other states. Exercise classes, Indian exercise, anybody, that's very easy.
Yoga.
Yeah. Anything else? Yoga is an easy one. I don't know. That's what I thought of yoga as well. Anything else? Other Indian sort of
Sir,
akhada.
even rope skipping.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know where
Is
it
it
originated
balaka?
from, but certainly it's a lot happens. It's certainly uh, very popular. I've seen, and even in smaller places, it's very popular. Yeah, akhada, wrestling. But
Akhada.
that's what Nilashi says. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, every country in India, many states have their own, you know. Okay,
So it's
so
malakam.
let's get back to the book. So I'll read a bit, Myra, then I'll ask you to come in again. Okay. The library is also on the ground floor. I passed two meeting rooms and a Japanese style room at the back of the building beside a small kitchen. The door is wide open with a sign on the wall that says library. Rows and rows of bookshelves fill an area about the size of a classroom. A counter to the left of the entrance is marked checkouts and returns. Near the front counter, a petite girl in a dark blue apron is arranging paperbacks on a shelf. What is petite? Anybody? What is petite?
Thin and small.
Hmm. Yes. Feeling shy.
Small.
Yeah. Feeling shy, I approach her. Excuse me, where are the books on computers? Why do you think Tomoko is feeling shy? Why do you think she's feeling shy here?
Sir, I think because it's her first time, or not the first time, but it's been long since she's come to a library. So probably that's why.
Yeah, possible. And maybe also I thought because like she's 21 years old and she's looking for books on computers, and normally you would expect somebody of her age to sort of know a lot about it. Maybe, I don't know. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. Her head perks up and she blushes. She has huge eyes and hair tied back in a ponytail that swings behind her. She looks young enough to still be at high school. Her name tag says Nozomi Morinaga. Over here, still holding several paperbacks, Nozomi Morinaga walks past a reading table and guides me to a large shelf against the wall. If you need any recommendations, the librarian is in the reference corner. Recommendation? You tell her what you're looking for, then she will do a search and give you recommendation. I can't find any of the books Mrs. Gono recommended on the shelf. Maybe I should consult the librarian. Nozomi said she was at the back, so I make my way to the front desk, then look towards the rear. That's when I notice a screen partition with a sign hanging from the ceiling that says reference. Heading over, I poke my head around the corner and yikes, my eyes nearly jump out of their sockets. The librarian is huge. I mean, really huge, but huge as in big, not fat. She takes up the entire space between the L shaped counter and the partition. Her skin is super pale. You can't even see where her chin ends and her neck begins. And she's wearing a beige apron over an off white loose knit cardigan. She reminds me of a polar bear curled up in a cave for winter. Her hair is twisted into a small bun right on top of her head, and she has a cool Kanzashi hairpin spiked through her bun with three white flower tassels hanging from it. She is looking down at something, but I can't see what exactly. The name tag around her neck says Sayuri Komachi. Cute name. I edge a bit closer and clear my throat. Miss Komachi's eyes roll up to look at me without her moving any other part of her body. The whites of her eyes are enormous. She's stabbing a needle at something the size of a ping pong ball, balanced on a mat the size of a handkerchief. What is she doing? Putting a jinx on someone? I almost scream out loud. It's okay. I managed to squeak, but all I want to do is turn tail and get away as fast as possible. What are you looking for? Her voice, it's so weird. It nails my feet to the floor, as if it had physically grabbed hold of me somehow. But there's a warmth in it that wraps itself around me, making me feel safe and secure, even when it comes from the unsmiling face. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a reason to work, something I'm good at. A reason to work, something I'm good at, stuff like that. But I don't think that's the kind of answer she expects. I'm looking for books on how to use a computer. Miss Kumachi pulls a dark orange box close. I recognize the design of white flowers in a hexagon shape. It's a box of honey dome cookies. I love these. They're dome shaped with a soft center and made by Kurimeyado, a company that specializes in Western style confectionery. They're not exactly gourmet, but they are a little bit special and not something you can just pick up in a convenience store. When she lifts the lid, I see a small pair of scissors and some needles. She must be using an empty box for her sewing things. Miss Kumachi puts away her needle and ball and then stares at me. What do you want to do on the computer? Excel to begin with, enough to tick the boxes on a skill checklist. Skill checklist? Miss Kumachi repeats. I'm thinking I might register on a career change site. I'm not that happy with my current job. What do you do? Nothing great, just selling ladies' clothes in a general department store. Miss Kamachi's head tilts to one side. The flower tassels on her hairpin shake and sparkle. Is being a sales assistant in a department store really not such a great job? I don't know what to say. Kumachi waits patiently for my reply. Well, I mean, anybody can do it. It's not like it was my dream job or anything. I desperately wanted to do. I just kind of fell into it. But I live on my own, so I have to work to support myself. You manage to find employment, you go to work every day, and you can feed yourself. That's a fine achievement. Nobody's ever summed up my life in this way before. Her answer makes me want to cry. It's as if she sees me just as I am. But all I do is feed myself. But all I do to feed myself is buy stuff from the convenience store, I blurt out clumsily. Though I know that's not what she really meant by feed yourself. Miss Kamachi's head tilts to the other side. Well, the motive doesn't matter so much as wanting to learn something. That's a good attitude to have. She turns to the computer, places both hands on the keyboard, and pauses. Then she begins typing at amazing speed. Shoo ta ta ta. Her fingers move in a blur, and I nearly fall over myself in surprise. Ta! She goes one final tap, then delicately lifts her wrist from the keyboard. Next moment, the printer springs into action. These should be suitable for a beginner on Excel. Miss Komachi hands me a sheet, a step by step guide to Word and Excel, Excel for beginners, Excel fast efficient notebooks, a simple introduction to Office. Then I noticed right at the bottom a title that stands out. Guri and Gura? I stared at the word. The kids' picture book about two field mice, Guri and Gura. Myra, you want to take it on from here? Right hand side, right on top.
Yes, sir. Oh, and this is too. Miss Komachi swivels on her chair slightly as she reaches below the counter. I lean forward a bit more to sneak a look and see a wooden cabinet with 5 drawers. She opens the top one, which seems to be stuffed with soft, colorful objects, picks one out and hands it to me. Here you are. This is for you. Automatically, I hold out my palm and Miss Komachi drops a light-weighted object onto it. It's round and black, about the size of a large watch face and with a straight bit poking out. A frying pan? The object in my hand is a felted frying pan with a tiny round clasp on the handle. What's this? A bonus gift. Bonus gift? Yes, something fun to go with the books. I stare at the frying pan. Uh, bonus gift? It's sort of cute. Mrs. Komachi opens the honey dome box and takes out a needle and ball again. Have you tried felting? No. I've seen it on Twitter and stuff though. She holds up her needle for me to see. The top is bent at a right angle for holding it, while the tip at the end has several tiny hooks sticking out. Felting is mysterious, she says. All you do is keep poking the needle at the ball of wool, and it turns into a three-dimensional shape. You might think that you are simply poking randomly and the strands are all tangled together, but there is a shape within that needle will reveal. She jabs roughly at the ball again. There has to be ton of felting things inside that drawer. Are they all bonus gifts to give away? But her attention is now completely focused on her ants, as if to say, my job here as a librarian is done. When I return to the shelf of computer books, I find the recommended titles and choose two that seem easy enough to understand. But what about Guri and Gura? Maybe I should get that too. I read it many times when I was in kindergarten. I think I remember my mother reading it to me too. Why would Miss Komachi recommend this book? Did she make a mistake? The children's picture books are in a space next to the window section of by low bookshelves. It's a shoes off area covered with interlocking rubber floor mat tiles. When I enter and find myself surrounded by lots of cute picture books. I feel peaceful all of a sudden. calmer, and more relaxed. There are three copies of Guri and Gura. I guess the library keeps multiple copies because it's such a classic. Maybe I will borrow it. I mean, it's free, isn't it? So I take my two computer books and Guri and Gura over to Nozami at the checkout counter. Show my health insurance card as ID to apply for the borrower's card and check out the books. On the way home, I stop at a convenience store and pick up a cinnamon roll and an iced latte. I consume these in front of the TV, but then I feel like something salty and get out some cup noodles, instant ramen from my stock in the cupboard. By now, it's already 6 o'clock. This will do me for dinner. I fill the kettle and put it on to boil, then get out my new library books to look at while I wait. I flick through the computer guides, imagining myself already knowing everything inside them and masterfully operating a computer in an office. Then I look at Guri and Gura. It has a durable, hard white cover. Somehow, I thought it would be bigger. This is hardly any different from a B5 sized notebook. Perhaps it only seemed big to me earlier because of the long pages that open sideways. The lettering on the cover looks handwritten. Two field mice look at each other across the big basket they are carrying between them. They have matching clothes, one mouse dressed in blue and the other in red. Which is Guri and which is Gura? I'm pretty sure they're twins. I study the cover and notice that in the title is blue and Gura is red. Aha! This discovery gives me a small thrill. Now I have the key. The book is easy to dive into. I flip the pages and follow stories from the pictures. Guri and Gura go into the woods. Oh, yeah, that's right. They find a big egg. Towards the end is a picture of a big frying pan with freshly cooked cake rising up from it. The picture takes up 2 pages, with the spine cutting through the middle. This reminds me. Did Miss Komachi give me a felt frying pan? I read the text. The yellow castella shows its soft, spongy face. What? They made castella? I've been thinking all along it was a pancake. I turned back the page. Egg and sugar, milk and flour. They mix it all up and cook it in the frying pan. Hmm, I didn't know castella was this easy to make. The kettle began to whistle. I turned off the gas and peeled back the lid of the ramen. How could I have forgotten the story when I'd read it so many times before? Or misremembered? More like it's fun though to reread a book I loved as a kid. You pick up new things. I fill the foam cup with boiling water, and just as I am putting on the lid, my phone rings. Saya's name appears on the screen. Wow, this is unusual. She doesn't normally ring me. Either she's insanely happy or insanely depressed. I wonder which. For 3 seconds, I hesitate as I glance over at the cup of hot noodles. Then I answer. Hey Tomoka, sorry to call out of the blue. Today's your day off, isn't it? Yeah, I wanted to ask your advice about something. Is now a good time? Saya sounds really apologetic. It's fine. What's up? I ask. Saya's voice instantly relaxed. It's Christmas next month, right? She begins. So, my boyfriend and I decided to tell each other what we want. But I don't know what to ask for. It would look good to ask for something really expensive. But if it's too cheap, he might be disappointed. You've got a good feel for these things. So I wondered if you had any ideas. She's happy. I think of my ramen going soggy if I don't eat them straight away. I'd regret answering the phone. Just a bit. If this is all she wants to talk about, I could have asked her to wait until after I finish eating. But it's too late to say anything now. So I murmur, uh, I put the phone on speaker mode and place it on a low table. I split the disposable chopsticks in two and eat my ramen as I listen to Saya, trying not to make any noise and saying the right words every now and then to show I'm paying attention. She must have picked on my lack of enthusiasm from my voice. Hey, are you busy? What were you doing? She asked. I was going to eat my cup noodles, or rather, I'm already eating them, but I don't want her to notice, so I answer, Hey, it's fine. I was just looking at my picture book, Guri and Gara. Guri and Gara? The story about making a fried egg? Woohoo! What to be? Pancake is much closer than a fried egg. It wasn't a fried egg, you know. It was castella. Huh? Really? But it's the story about a mice walking through the wood who come across a huge egg, isn't it? That's the one. But the mice talk about what to do with the egg and end up making castella. Castella? No way! Only somebody who cooks a lot would think of that. If you don't know what to do with an egg in the first place, you would think of it. That's one way of looking at it. I gulped down the remainder of my ramen soup. Saya keeps talking. I always knew you were different, Tomoka. I mean to say, reading picture books on your day off? That's really cool. Like, so intellectual. Does everyone in Tokyo do that? I'm not sure, but there are picture book cafes here and things like that. I reply vaguely. Saya has been helping out at her family's hardware store ever since she finished high school. She has this idea of me as some kind of sophisticate who can teach her everything about the mysterious world of big city life. You're amazing, Tomoka, a rising star, going off to Tokyo to become a career woman. It's not like that, I protest. Saya's innocent, straightforward chatter is like a mirror reflecting the meanness of my own heart. I told her off the top of my head once that I was in the fashion business. It's not exactly a lie, and my job does involve clothes. But I did mention edit because if I had, she would have Googled it and discovered the truth. The reason I can't brush Saya off is not out of friendship, so much as because she puts me on a pedestal and calls me amazing all the time. I probably just want someone to whom I can put on a brave face, and Saya presents me an image of how I would like to be seen. When I was in college, her admiration made me feel good. It helped light my fire. But lately, I've grown tired of being called amazing. I put my chopstick down and atoned for my sins. Spent the next 2 hours listening to Saya drone about her boyfriend.
Okay,
Next,
stop here, stop there, stop there. Manisha, just bookmark it. We're close to 11:30. We'll stop here, this book. So, Guri and Gura. Anybody? Does it remind you of anything that you've read, the past or anything? Do we have an Indian version? Any thoughts? Okay. What is a Japanese room? Says we started this piece of it and said the Japanese style room. What is a Japanese style room? Do you know? A Japanese style room. A Japanese style normally is very minimalist, which means very less things there, right? Uh, you have low seating, right? They many times will sit on the floor as well, low seating, right? And not won't have any furniture in there. So it's very different from what you would expect elsewhere. Okay, so now it seems that Tomoka is on the move, right? She, from her first, what we read first time, now she is, seems to, after her talk with Kiriyama, she's got a little motivated and she is excel, and now she's, gone to the library. She's moved out a little bit, and so clearly she's on the move, right? So if you had to give advice to Tomoka at this point of time, what would it be? What advice would you give her? Right? Anybody?
Sir, can you
You,
repeat the question?
you should think of Tomoka's life, right? The librarian said, sort of summarized her life literally, and so she was bringing out the good points of it, right? That she takes care of herself, she feeds herself, she has a job, so she's doing well. But Tomoka doesn't feel like that, right? So, what advice would you give Tomoka? If you had to give Tomoka advice right now as to what she should do in her life, what advice would it be? Right? Anybody? What advice would you give her?
Sir, I will give the advice that she should believe in herself.
Very good. Very good. Yes, because we have come across that she doesn't think she has many skills and she just keeps looking down upon herself. So that's very well picked up, Talat. Yes, she should believe in herself. Right. That's very good advice. Anybody else? Gratitude and learn new skills for happiness, Anisha ma'am says. Yes, she needs to be, she needs to appreciate what she has and build new skills. Yes, Myra.
Sir, I think that she is like she said to the librarian, she does not like her job because it's very common and everyone can do it. But I think that she should only change her job because she does not enjoy it. And I like that she is trying to learn new skills. But it should not just be for the job, but also for her personal growth.
Exactly. Because in that conversation that Kiriyama has with her and asks her what type of job she wants, she's and Kiriyama points out that she's, just talking about other things, not the job itself, where the office is located, what type of office is, what she will do, where she'll eat lunch, all those type of things, but not much about the job. So, yeah, she needs to believe in herself, improve her skill set, and focus on what.
Confidence.
Yes, Rita ma'am.
Confidence also.
Yes, yes, she's short on confidence for sure. So, this is a big thing. I mean, it's, at least in the US, I know, right? Like children get to 16, 18 years old and they start living by themselves, right? In India also, I think it started to happen a little bit, right? I mean, you go to college in a place which you're not, where parents are not there, and you start living by yourself, and sometimes in a hostel, sometimes out with a PG and stuff, and then you start to live and work by yourself. So how do you all think about that phase? I mean, are you sort of looking forward to it? Does it excite you? I mean, how are you thinking about this? Or if you're thinking about it at all, or if you're not thinking, then think about it now. How would it be for you? Do you like it? What would you like about it? Living by yourself, just like Tomoka is living by herself. Any thoughts? Okay, so maybe you want to just think about it a little bit. Yes, Nilash.
I think how you and maybe you would be able to relate with me since both of us are from a boarding school. I think a certain age group should be encouraged to be away from the family and establish their own likes, dislikes, and identity as well. I think as a teenager, maybe I wouldn't have realized what are my desires and passions, which are not painted by my family and the surroundings, but constantly push myself and challenge myself as well. So I think I would have really liked to do what she's doing and experiment with life.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that, Rashi. Yes. So when you start living by yourself, you will discover more about yourself and you will build your identity, as Rashi says. Absolutely. So anyway, think about that, and maybe you want to write about it in reflection also. So over to you, Munisha ma'am. There were a couple of nice reflections, and Dean, I think, had written, and when when in the chapter today, there was reference to the fingers feeling like bananas on the keyboard. I was thinking about what Karthik had taught us last time, and that's what Dean has written in her reflection. So that was very good. Yes, Manisha, over to you.
So do you wish to read the reflection which is there on the website, or should I start?
We can,
It's hardly one.
can. Uh, let me figure. Let me just the word. Yeah. So this has a new mask, right? Joy of Learning
It looks
Diary.
beautiful.
Yeah. But one thing I need to tell Sandeep is like at the bottom earlier that Teachers Academy used to be there. I was actually hunting for it yesterday, but I couldn't find it. But anyway, uh, so this is what I was saying. Dean, you're there. Would you like to read what you've written?
Dinsha, are you there?
So yes, ma'am.
That's Disha. At least that's what
Not
the
Disha,
name is saying
Dinsha
out
from
here.
Sunbeam Balia.
Yeah, who's written the first reflection, which is on your screen?
I don't think so. She's there.
No? Okay. Somebody else want to read this?
So can I?
Yes, Kalat, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Jai Hind all. The discussion of the book My Family and the Other Animals helped me understand how reading can deepen our understanding of nature, family relationships, and human emotions. Through this session, I realized that books are not only helpful for academic learning but also play an essential role in shaping our thoughts and feelings. This session encouraged me to read more carefully and reflect on the messages embedded in the stories. Overall, the reading session was enjoyable and informative, and it helped me to understand the true importance of reading in a student's life. Dinsha 9th, Sanmeem Balia.
Yeah, Dinsha is here. Dinsha, do you want to come in and say what exactly you have learned while you were rating this? What have you learned from the session? And as a new intern, as you have joined us, am I audible to you, Dinsha? Okay. The next one,
Yeah, who would like to read? In fact, I was wrong. It was Akansha who made the point, and Dean Shah was talking about what reading does for you, which is also a very good uh, subject to talk about in our session. But yeah, any who would like to read? Akansha is there.
no.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to read?
This was Talat she read before. Disha, do you want to read?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
At the beginning of the session, Kartik sir taught us two important aspects of book writing through examples and small tasks. Creating the mood of a story and describing a person without actually naming them. Later, Brinda ma'am introduced a new chapter from the new book, which was based entirely on these two concepts. It served as a perfect example of what we had just learned. Through this session, I learned new things, new words, and new ways of writing. Along with Dugjeev sir, Vikram sir, Minakshi ma'am, and Manisha ma'am all contributed to making the session smooth and encouraging. Akansha Rai 9C Sunbeam School Balia.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we also have the calendar. So
Yes, sir.
this month, uh, next next Sunday is My Family and Other Animals and the Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories. 18th is when we've asked Karthik to come back and continue. We'd earlier thought we do it for 3 sessions, but I just think that he's adding so much value that I thought it would be worthwhile to ask him to please spare some more time for us. Uh, and so he'll come, and then we'll get back to this book which we read today. And 25th is again My Family and Other Animals and the Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories in Hindi. So that's what it is. And the Teachers Academy, we have Learning Forward Saturday, the Saturday Masterclass, and we have Fridays is Brewing Knowledge. What we have, and this Friday, we have an author coming and talking to us. Nilashi, would you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So Miss Neha Negi is a writer and also an illustrator of this book. And we are trying to find out how these folklore, like she describes it, are also ecological folk tales. So, can we ask questions about climate change, about stories coming through different beings like animals, birds, trees, and can they ask us difficult questions about our consumption and everything? So, we are trying to see if we can integrate some reflective or some artistic activities as well with this reading session and make this into a series of sessions once a month for next few months. That's what we're thinking.
That's good. It seems to me this should be a session that should be of a lot of interest to children. So
Yeah, yeah.
children can come and join your session, right, Nilashi?
Of course, definitely. That would be
So if you want
lovely.
to do that, you can do that Friday, 5:30. And how do they get the link, Manisha?
Miss Manisha is on the group, so Miss Manisha, if any of the students send Miss Manisha a request, I'm sure she would be able to direct them towards Brewing Knowledge community on WhatsApp or even send them a link outside of WhatsApp.
Also, the school coordinators already
They
will
are
be
already
having it,
there.
right,
Hmm.
Manisha?
Yes, sir. The school coordinators are already there in the group.
Right. So you can get it from your school coordinator, or you can ask Manisha ma'am for it.
Yeah.
And so, okay, let me stop sharing, Manisha. Let's get down to the Hindi
Yeah, I'll be
reading.
happy to help in case somebody wants to join the Bring Knowledge session. Do let me know, send me a message as you are doing it or through your school coordinator, whatever helps you. Just give me one. Okay. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Lovely. Good morning, everyone. And yes, as we were doing it before, so right now also I would like to do the same. To start, I like to have a little quiz. Are you all ready for the quiz? Everyone ready or not? Just tell me yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Lovely. Okay. Section A, reading and you. When you read a book or article, what usually happens? Remember, there is no right or wrong answer. If you want, you can punch your answers in the chat. If you want, you can unmute and speak. I have given many of you. You all are unmuted from my side, so you all can unmute yourself and speak, or you can write in the chat, whatever is comfortable for you. When you read a book or article, what usually happens? I forget it quickly. I enjoy it, but don't think much about it later. I think about the ideas even after reading. It changes the way I think or act. So, which one is good for you?
Ma'am, for me, it will be C.
Okay, I think about the ideas even after reading. Somebody else wants to answer this? No one? All right. So, yes, we may forget it quickly. I may enjoy at that time and maybe not be remembering it later. So, we all are different people. So, there is again not any right or wrong answer. We cannot stick to one thing because we all are unique, different in our own
Also,
way.
also, Manisha, different time, different articles, what you're reading.
Yes, it may be good for us, it may not be understandable for us, it may be very close to our heart. So it depends on the content also. As Jugjisa say, that content is very much important. So if our content is something which we can relate, we will be remembering, and if it is not, we may forget that. Next, reading regularly helps a person to improve vocabulary, think clearly, copy others blindly, understand the world better.
Ma'am, option A,
Improve
improve.
vocabulary. Ma'am,
Okay.
improve vocabulary.
So when we read something, it improves our vocabulary. Very good, well tried. And yes, think clearly. Also, we can choose two options because many a times what happens that if I'm reading something, a good content, and I was having a perception before, my perception may change, my thinking will change, and I'll be able to understand something in a better way. So both the answers may be right. Again, it depends from person to person.
No, on
A
this
person
specific one, we just read this book, right? About Tomoka. I mean, isn't it helping you understand a little bit more about Japan and Japanese culture,
certainly.
right? So, understand the world better is certainly also one of the options, I think.
Yes. So again, it depends on the content.
Yep.
So it is, so we are able to understand the world also better. But copy others blindly may or may not be. It depends. A person who does not read regularly may struggle with. So what do you think could be the answer for you? Expressing ideas, making decision, understanding others, all of the above.
All of the above.
All
Mhm. Very good. Somebody else wants to answer?
Ma'am, all of the above.
Lovely. That's great.
Yeah, and
So
I
now
think
we need,
Dean has explained this very well in her blog that she wrote, in the short write-up that she wrote about what reading does for you. So she's explained it very well.
yes, of course. So now you have to think, thinking about thinking. What it is this? What is thinking about thinking? Jugdisa, do you wish to answer this?
No, no, I mean, if they look at the answer, I mean, it's very clear, right? If you just go by the words itself.
Wonderful. Okay, so we are talking about metacognition. Reflection means reading fast, thinking about what we learn and how it helps us, memorizing answers, finishing
thinking.
homework quickly.
Ma'am, thinking about what we learn and how it's help us.
Option number B, thinking about what we learned and how it helps us.
Isn't it about finishing homework quickly?
No.
Don't we want to
No,
finish our
ma'am.
homework quickly and start playing games or gossip or have fun with our friends or go out somewhere? Anyone? See, when I was a student, I really wanted to complete everything fast and have my me time all the time. So for you, it is thinking about what we learned. So yes, perfect. After learning something new, reflection helps us to What does it helps us?
Connect, connect it to real life.
Connected to real life.
Be connected to real life.
Can somebody give me an example to this? How you're connecting to real life? So I just read a chapter. So how you are going to connect that reading to your real life, to your own life, basically. Somebody?
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, if the chapter says any good thing, so we think about that how to connect it in our real life.
Okay. So what do we learn from the chapter which Sir read? Did we learn something from there? Disha, Garima, Myra, Aisha, do you wish to answer? Okay, I'll just say this. Uh, what I have learned from the chapter Sir read was we need to learn a new skill. It doesn't matter what age you are. Learning something is very much important because learning is one thing which never stops. It starts from womb and it goes to tomb. So learning should happen and learning a new skill should be there in every year. So yes, she has started learning Excel. Reason because she wanted to change her job, but yes, learning is naturally going to help you in the long run. Imagine you read a story about courage. What reflection question would help you to grow?
Third option. Ma'am, option C. When have I been brave like
Have I
this?
been brave like this? Ma'am, when
Lovely.
have I been brave like this?
So,
So we all want to? Yes, sir.
when Republic Day comes, some awards are announced for children, right? And recently I read in the paper, these awards have been announced for some of the children who are going to get these awards. So I don't know if you read them, but you should read what some of these children have done. It's quite amazing. And a couple of them actually lost their lives, right? Trying to save somebody else. So it's actually amazing to see what children in our country are actually doing.
Yes, sir. When I was a kid, I used to see this parade, and every time it was when I'm going to sit on that elephant. It always used to come in my mind, but it never happened. That's a different story altogether. But yes, when we see these people doing all these kind, we feel enthusiastic about it. And yes, something comes in our blood and we feel like, okay, we should also be doing the same. Or maybe recognition is also one thing which should be there. Okay. If you don't learn a new skill this year, what is the most likely to happen? Life will
This
automatically
year
change.
may look like last year.
Wonderful, Disha. Thank you so much. You have just come to the crux. Yes, this year may look like last year. There is nothing new about this year. It will happen like any other year. कुछ नया सीखेंगे तभी तो हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. तो नया सीखना is always very much important. Yes, Talat, you wish to say something?
No, ma'am.
Lovely. Which of these are life skills that reading and reflection can improve?
Communication or
Communication and
problem solving.
Ma'am, communication and problem solving.
What about waiting for luck?
confidence.
Mhm. Yes, communication, problem solving, confidence are also there. What about waiting for luck? Do you all believe in luck?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how much?
Not very much, but it depends on the situation.
Okay, and what about hard work?
Like for me, the karma is something that I take as my prior. And then comes the luck.
Wonderful. So you believe in karma? जो करेंगे वो हमारे पास घूम फिर के आएगा. So positivity, positive energy should be there. So that's wonderful, Garima. Coming to the second last question, I think we have 10 questions only. A new year becomes truly new when we
Ma'am,
change the
option
calendar.
number C,
Learn
learn new skills and improve ourselves.
learn new things and improve
Ma'am,
ourselves.
option C.
Option C, learn
Wonderful,
new skills.
wonderful, wonderful. So option C, when we learn new skills and improve ourselves. So do you all wish to learn something new this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's my 10th question. Any one skill you want to learn this year, then explain how reading can help you. Which skill do you want to learn? And which reading is also helping you? Examples are given. Sorry, it's too cold today. Yes, beta. Anyone wish to answer this? No one? Talat, Disha, Aditya, Garima, Myra. You can
Ma'am,
write.
can I?
Yeah, beta, please go ahead.
Ma'am, for me, I want to learn about time management. And actually, I've been reading a book called Atomic Habits, in which the writer has explained how to make great habits by little steps, in which he also describes how to manage time and all.
Wonderful. Time management is actually very much important because too much of everything becomes bad. So, how we are using our time wisely is going to make us do most of our work where time management is going to help us. Now, second last question, if I start reading regularly and reflect on what I'm sorry, what I learn, I can become more. What one word or phrase do you want to write here?
Confidence.
Okay. What else? Somebody else? If I start reading regularly and reflect on what I learn, I can become more confident. Yes, 100%. Some other word or phrase?
Creative, Akansha says.
Oh, wow. What else?
Thinker, thinking,
Mm-hmm. Very good. What else? Okay. So this question, I'm leaving it for you. So you can write after the Ruskin Bond story, which I have read, that we are reading regularly and what you are going to become. Last question, one small reading habit I will start this year is what reading habit do you wish to start? Do you want to do connect it with time management or do you want to connect it with some kind of book or the author or on reflection? What exactly you wish to do? What habit do you want to inculcate? Or you only want to listen and not read? Or you want to reflect? Or you want to start maintaining your diary? You have various options. Which one do you want to pick up? Chalo, this question also I'm leaving it to you. Please think over. Okay.
positive
As you,
thinking.
wow, wonderful. That's positive thinking, and yes, we should be. Okay, so we are reading Ruskin Bond's book, and last week, not last week, a few weeks back, we read about The Whistling Schoolboy. That is what the name of the book is. Today, we will be reading Koki Bhi Cricket Khelti Hai. So, what do you understand by the character's name Koki? What Koki could be?
A girl? A girl, yes.
Okay, so it's a girl. She's a girl. Any other idea? Who is Koki? Okay, let's read the book to understand who Koki is. कोकी ने पूछा, क्या शनिवार को क्रिकेट मैच खेला जाता है? रणजी ने कहा, बिल्कुल, हम पब्लिक स्कूल की टीम के साथ मैच खेल रहे हैं। कोकी बोली, मैं मैच देखने आ सकती हूँ। जैसे तुम्हें लगे वैसे हम उसे आसानी से हरा देंगे। स्कूल की टीम से रणजी की खुद की टीम काफी अलग थी। इस टीम में बड़े और छोटे, लंबे और छोटे कद और जीवन के सभी आयाम के लड़के थे। कोकी, जो कि एक लड़की थी, उसे भी मानद सदस्यता की अनुमति दी गई थी और कभी-कभी वो टीम की 12वां सदस्य बन जाती थी, अर्थात अतिरिक्त खिलाड़ी। उसे क्रिकेट के बारे में अच्छी खासी जानकारी थी और जब भी रणजी को बैटिंग अभ्यास की जरूरत होती, तो वह उसे सुबह के वक्त गेंदबाजी करती थी। ऐसे कुछ ही टीम के खिलाड़ी थे जो प्राइवेट स्कूल का खर्च उठाकर पढ़ सकते थे। उसमें ज्यादातर स्थानीय सरकारी स्कूल में ही जाते थे और कम से कम 2 या 3 लड़के ने तो स्कूल जाना बिल्कुल बंद कर दिया था। उस टीम में भरतू नामक लड़का था जो सुबह अखबार बेचने का काम किया करता था। फिर मुकेश और राकेश थे जो आपस में भाई थे। उनके पिता की एक मिठाई की दुकान थी। आमिर अली नाम का एक दूसरा लड़का था जिसके पिता दर्जी थे। टीम का सदस्य बिल्ली जोन्स नामक एंग्लो इंडियन लड़का भी था। फिर एक लंबा खिलाड़ी भी था जिसका नाम लुम्बू था। सीताराम धोबी का लड़का था और इनके अलावा कई और भी रणजी की टीम के सदस्य थे। और हाँ, भीम भी था जो कि बिल्कुल भी खेल नहीं पाता था, लेकिन वह एक बेहतर अंपायर था, खासतौर जब उनके चश्मे के लेंस पर भाप नहीं जमा होती थी। और इसके अलावा जहां भी टीम जाती वो उसके साथ जाता था। यहाँ पे बोला गया है कि जब तक उसके चश्मे के लेंस पर भाप नहीं जम जाती, तो इससे आप क्या समझ रहे हैं? जो अंपायर था आपका, अंपायर का नाम था भीम। वो खेलता नहीं था बट बहुत ही अच्छा अंपायर था और वो तब तक अच्छी से अंपायर बन सकता था जब तक कि उसके चश्मे पे भाप नहीं जमती थी। तो ऐसा क्यों बोला गया है? क्या कोई बता पाएगा? एनीवन? ओके, तो भाप नहीं जमती
मैम
थी।
क्योंकि
हाँ जी, बोलो बेटा।
मैम क्योंकि उसके चश्मे पर जब भाप जम जाती था उसे कुछ दिखाई नहीं देता होगा।
यस, और चश्मे पे भाप क्यों जमती थी?
ठंड की वजह से जब फॉग होता।
यस, ठंड की वजह से, क्योंकि ये ज्यादातर स्टोरियां मसूरी या उसके आसपास की ही लिखी गई हैं, तो इसलिए ठंड बहुत ज्यादा होती थी, चश्मे पे भाप जम जाती थी। और चूंकि वो बहुत अच्छा एम्पायर था, इसका मतलब उसे रूल्स वगैरह क्रिकेट की बहुत अच्छे से पता थे, लेकिन वो खेल नहीं पाता था। इस शनिवार को वे घरेलू मैदान पर खेलने वाले थे। यह मैदान अप्सरा नामक एक सिनेमा घर के पीछे की पड़ी फालतू जमीन पर स्थित था। पब्लिक स्कूल के लड़के सबसे पहले पहुंच गए थे और यह स्वाभाविक भी था क्योंकि वे सभी एक हॉस्टल में रहते थे। रणजी की टीम के सदस्यों को अलग-अलग दिशाओं में आना था, इसलिए स्वाभाविक रूप से वहां पहुंचने के लिए कुछ अधिक वक्त लगा। इसके बावजूद भी टीम के 2 सदस्य नहीं पहुंच सके, लेकिन रणजी ने टॉस जीतकर बल्लेबाजी करने का फैसला इस उम्मीद में किया कि बाकी बचे खिलाड़ी भी जल्द ही पहुंचकर खेल में शामिल हो जाएंगे। रणजी ने सख्त लहजे में कहा, अगर मुकेश और राकेश वक्त पर नहीं पहुंचे तो हम उन्हें टीम में नहीं रखेंगे। आपको क्या लगता है कि अगर कोई टाइम पे नहीं आता है तो उसे टीम में रखना चाहिए कि नहीं रखना चाहिए? आपकी एक टीम है, तो आप, कुछ लोग रोज टाइम पे आ जाते हैं। यस युवराज। Yes, Yuvraj, you're allowed to talk.
Yes, ma'am. Can you please repeat the question once more?
आपकी टीम के 9 खिलाड़ी टाइम पे आ गए पर 1 या 2 टाइम पे नहीं आए, तो उन्हें खेलना चाहिए कि नहीं खेलना चाहिए?
And basically it all depends on the situation. If it is such a, it can be like it is some important match, so should we probably don't need to wait there for them much. But if it is just a practice match, so we can wait them for a few minutes.
ओके, और अगर वो रेगुलरली छुट्टी पे मतलब लेट होते हैं तो हैबिचुअल लेट है?
Ma'am,
अगर उनकी
first
आदत हम्म।
At first, we will let them to know that they should need to come on time. But if they again and again they are not coming on time, so we can get let them to don't come again and again in our match. And
वंडरफुल। सो अगर वो हैबिचुअल लेट है तो हम उनको नहीं रखेंगे, पर अगर 1-2 बार है तो हम रीजन सुन के उनको वापस खेलने देंगे। वेरी गुड, थैंक यू। देखते हैं कहानी में क्या हुआ। लंबू ने कहा, उन्हें टीम से बाहर मत खदेड़ो। वे दोनों अपने पिता की दुकान से हमारे यहाँ मिठाइयाँ और नाश्ता लाते लाते हैं। हमें टीम में उनकी जरूरत है, चाहे फिर वे रन बनाए या नहीं। रंजी, जो हमेशा निष्पक्ष बने रहने के लिए तैयार रहता था, बोला, ठीक है, अगर वे नाश्ता लिए बगैर आए तो उन्हें खेल से बर्खास्त कर दिया जाएगा। 2 अंपायर विकेट को लगाने के लिए मैदान में पहुंच गए थे। इस 2 अंपायर में से एक भीम था, जो रणजी की टीम की तरफ से अंपायर था, और दूसरा पब्लिक स्कूल के एक शिक्षक थे। अमीर अली ने कहा, मुझे शिक्षक की शक्ल बिल्कुल भी पसंद नहीं है। हमें किसी भी तरीके का खतरा नहीं लेना चाहिए। बिल्ली और लंबू हमेशा अपनी टीम के लिए बल्लेबाजी का आगाज करते थे। लंबू की लंबाई तेज उड़ती हुई गेंद को खेलने में मदद करती थी। उसने मैच की पहली गेंद का सामना किया। पब्लिक स्कूल की शुरुआती गेंदबाजी तेज तो थी, पर दिशाहीन भी। यह इसलिए था क्योंकि गेंदबाज बहुत तेज गेंद डालने का प्रयास कर रहा था। उसकी पहली वाइड घोषित कर दी गई और इस तरह रणजी की टीम को पहला रन हासिल हो गया। दूसरी गेंद हालांकि उतनी ज्यादा दूर नहीं थी, लेकिन लेग स्टंप्स से लगभग 1 फीट की दूरी पर थी। लंबू ने उस गेंद पर स्वीप करने का प्रयास किया था, जो कि चूक गया। तीसरी गेंद पिच के आधे हिस्से पर गिरी और नीचे रही। वह गेंद लंबू के पैड से टकराई। तुरंत गेंदबाज, विकेटकीपर और स्लिप में खड़े खिलाड़ी एक साथ चिल्लाए, हाउस दैट। पब्लिक स्कूल के अंपायर ने बिना किसी हिचक के अपनी उंगली ऊपर कर दी। लंबू को लेग बिफोर विकेट करार दिया गया। लंबू इस निर्णय को सुनकर भौचक्का होकर खड़ा रह गया। उसने ये देखने के लिए कि उसके पैर उस वक्त कहाँ थे, और फिर उसने स्टंप्स को देखा। मैं विकेट के सामने नहीं हूँ, ये बात उसने कहते हुए किसी व्यक्ति विशेष से शिकायत नहीं की। विकेट कीपर बोला, अंपायर का निर्णय ही अंतिम निर्णय है। लंबू आहिस्ता आहिस्ता उस जगह की तरफ जाने लगा जहां पर उसके साथी ईंटों के ढेर के सामने बैठे हुए थे। उसने विरोध भरी आवाज में कहा, मैं आउट नहीं था। आपको कैसा लगता है जब आप आउट होते हो या नहीं आते हो, या आपकी गलती हो नहीं हो पर लोग आपको गलत कहते हैं? ऐसा हुआ है कभी किसी के साथ कि आप गलत हो नहीं हो, या गेम में आप आउट हो नहीं हो? हाउ डू यू फील अबाउट इट? ऐसा कभी भी नहीं हुआ किसी के साथ?
Ma'am, please repeat.
कभी ऐसा आप लोग के साथ हुआ है कि आप आउट हुए किसी गेम में, या नहीं आउट हुए पर आपको गलती से आउट कर दिया गया, या आपकी गलती नहीं होने के बाद भी आपसे बोला गया कि आप गलत हो, जबकि आपकी गलती नहीं थी, किसी और की थी? आपको लगा कि अनफेयर हुआ आपके साथ? ऐसा कभी हुआ है?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Many times.
Yes, ma'am.
मेनी टाइम्स। तो कैसा लगा? व्हाट वर योर फीलिंग्स दैट टाइम? हाउ डू यू फील
Ma'am,
अबाउट इट?
Ma'am, at that time, I am feeling very
Sad.
sad and I wants to show that I am not out.
ओके,
I
सो
wants
आपने
to
क्या
find many
किया उनको
possibilities.
समझाने के लिए कि उनका जो फैसला था?
Feeling very disappointed.
ओके, यू फेल्ट डिसअपॉइंटेड, तो आपने क्या किया उनको रियलाइज कराने के लिए कि आपकी गलती नहीं थी? कुछ किया आपने या चुप रहे और
Ma'am,
चुप रह के उनकी
I
बात मान ली?
ma'am, I have done the same thing to them also.
ओके, वंडरफुल। और किसी ने कुछ किया? आपने उनका फैसला मान लिया या आपने बताया कि नहीं आपकी गलती नहीं थी और उनको एक बार सोचना चाहिए?
हमने बताया था कि हमारी गलती।
ओके, ठीक है। देखिए स्टोरी में क्या होता है। रंजी, जिसकी मैदान में उतरने की बारी थी, ने कहा, कोई बात नहीं, तुम्हें दोबारा अवसर मिलेगा जब तुम गेंदबाजी के लिए उतरोगे। रंजी आत्मविश्वास से लबरेज होकर क्रीज की तरफ बढ़ने लगा। उसका बल्ला उसके कंधे पर था। उसने सावधानी के साथ क्रीज पर गार्ड लिया और फिर अपने बल्ले को हल्के हल्के जमीन पर पटकते हुए गेंदबाज का सामना किया। उसे पहली गेंद सीधी, तेज और हाफ वॉली पर मिली, जिसे उसने सीधे गेंदबाज के बगल से मारते हुए सीमा रेखा के बाहर का रास्ता दिखा दिया। रणजी की टीम के साथी खुशी से चीख उठे, चौका। अगली गेंद हाफ स्टंप से थोड़ी बाहर तक शॉर्ट गेंद थी। रणजी तुरंत पीछे हटा और उसने स्क्वायर कट मारा, जो पॉइंट से निकलकर दूसरे चौके के लिए सीमा रेखा को पार कर गई। एक बार फिर से खुशी से भरी जय जयकार की उठी और इस आवाज में रंजी ने बहुत साफ तौर से किसी लड़की की आवाज भी सुनी, जो चिल्लाकर कह रही थी, रंजी, शानदार शॉट। रंजी ने उस तरफ देखा जहां पर उसके साथी बैठे हुए थे। उनके बीच कोई भी लड़की मौजूद नहीं थी। फिर रंजी मुड़ा और दूसरी तरफ की सीमा रेखा की तरफ देखने लगा, और फिर वहां एक विशाल सिनेमा होर्डिंग के नीचे कोकी खड़ी दिखाई पड़ी। कोकी ने रंजी की तरफ हाथ हिलाया। रंजी ने उसका जवाब नहीं दिया। वह आत्म केंद्रित महसूस कर रहा था, गेंदबाज का सामना करने के लिए एक बार फिर से तैयार होते वक्त उसे एक वक्त में दो चीजों का एहसास हो रहा था। पहला, गेंदबाज के द्वारा चेहरा बनाना और उसकी तरफ तेज गेंदबाजी करते हुए आगे बढ़ना, और दूसरा, कोकी का सीमा रेखा पर खड़ा होकर उससे एक और चौके की उम्मीद करना। आप लोगों को कैसा लगता है जब लोग आपसे उम्मीद करते हैं? हाउ डू यू फील जब कोई आपसे कोई उम्मीद करके रखता है कि आप कुछ
Ma'am, can I?
एक्सेलेंट काम? यस बेटा।
Ma'am, we sometimes almost feel like nervous.
हम्म। व्हाट एल्स? प्रेशराइज्ड? कैसा फील करते हैं आप लोग जब कोई आपसे उम्मीद लगाता है किसी भी चीज की? नॉट ओनली अबाउट एजुकेशन। यस मायरा?
मैम
मायरा यू?
हमें मोटिवेशन तो मिलता ही, बट जैसा कि आपने कहा, हमें प्रेशराइज भी फील होता है और हमें ऐसा लगता है कि ये लोग हमसे इतनी उम्मीद कर रहे हैं, अब तो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा।
ओके, और अगर आप नहीं कर पाए तो कैसा लगता है?
तो बहुत बुरा लगता है, ऐसा लगता है कि मैं लायक नहीं हूँ।
ओके, और डेली के चोर्स हो तो छोटे छोटे घर के काम जो आपसे बोले जाएं कि अपना रूम समेटो, अपने किताबी को ढंग से रखो या अपना होमवर्क कंप्लीट करो, अगर वो एक्सपेक्टेशन हो? रीमा मैम कह रही है अच्छा
मैम
लगता
वो
है।
उसमें अगर हमें जैसे अगर हमने काम कर लिया, तो जैसे हमारी तारीफ होती है तो हमें अच्छा लगता है, और वो हमें पता है कि वो हमारा डेली का काम है, तो उसमें उतना ज्यादा नहीं हमें लगता।
नाइस, वेरी नाइस मायरा, थैंक यू फॉर आंसरिंग। रीमा मैम, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
यस
रीना
मैम।
मैम? हाँ जी,
यस
बताइए।
मैम। मैम अच्छा लगता है, अगर मतलब हम पर कोई भरोसा कर रहा है, कोई उम्मीद है, तो अच्छा लगता है। लेकिन अगर वो चीज हम फिर नहीं कर पाते या हमें सही से नहीं हो रही, तो फिर बुरा लगता है मैम।
क्या करना चाहिए कि वो चीज हम सही से कर सके या लोगों की एक्सपेक्टेशन के हिसाब से कर सके?
मैम
Ma'am, we
अगर
have to do it here.
आई एम सॉरी, आई लॉस्ट यू। क्या बोला आपने?
Ma'am, we have to do it carefully.
वी हैव टू डू इट केयरफुली। थैंक यू। यस रीना मैम, आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
यस मैम। मैम मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि मतलब अगर मतलब हम क्रिकेट भी खेल रहे हैं और मतलब हम पर कोई भरोसा कर रहा है और वो मतलब हम वहाँ पे मतलब सही साबित नहीं हो पाए या सही से मतलब जितने रन या मतलब जैसे हमें खेलना था वो नहीं हम कर पाए, तो मतलब अगली बार फिर हम अच्छे से कर सकते हैं।
यस सर्टेनली, टाइम है, उसको हम आगे भी कंसंट्रेट करके अच्छे से कर सकते हैं। इसलिए कंसंट्रेशन बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। एंड लोग भरोसा कर रहे हैं, इससे आप दो चीजें भी महसूस कर सकते हैं। एक, आप थोड़ा नर्वस भी हो सकते हैं और आप हैप्पी भी हो सकते हैं। इट इज मिक्स इमोशन। इमोशन आपके हमेशा मिक्स रहते हैं। कई बार आप कॉन्फिडेंट फील करते हैं, कई बार आप नर्वस फील करते हैं, और कई बार दोनों के बीच की भी फीलिंग्स हो सकती है। यहाँ पे देखिए स्टोरी में क्या होता है। एकाग्रता के खो जाने से उसने अगली गेंद को मिस कर दिया, जिसके चलते वे आगे बढ़कर खेलने के बजाय उसने उस गेंद को पीछे से खेला। गेंद ने बल्ले का किनारा लिया और सीधे विकेट कीपर के दस्ताने में समा गई। सभी फील्डर एक कैच की अपील करते हुए एक साथ चिल्लाए, हाउस दैट। रणजी ने अंपायर से कहा, इस मामले में भीम के द्वारा उसे आउट किए जाने का इंतजार नहीं किया। वह अच्छी तरह से जानता था कि गेंद ने उसके बल्ले को छुआ था। मुंह सिकुड़ते हुए जब वो अपनी टीम के साथियों के पास वापस जाने लगा, तब उसे कोकी की करनी के कारण हुआ था, ऐसा लगा। अब रणजी के आउट हो जाने के बाद सीताराम और भरतू के बीच में अच्छी साझेदारी हुई। सीताराम वह लड़का था जो अपने पिता की रविवार को शहर की धुलाई में मदद करता था। सीताराम को एक स्पाट पत्थर पर कपड़े को बिछाने की और उन कपड़ों को एक मजबूत डंडे से पीटने की आदत थी। यह विविध अधिकांश धोबी कपड़े को धोने में बनाते थे। उसने विकेट बॉल के साथ भी ऐसा ही व्यवहार किया। उसने गेंद को काफी जोर से मारना शुरू किया और मैदान के सभी कोनों में सीमा के पार भेजना शुरू किया। इस तरीके से आउट होने से पहले उसने 25 बहुमूल्य रन बनाए। अंततः एक बड़ी हिट मारने के चक्कर में कैच आउट हो गया। दूसरे सिरे पर भरतू ने पारी को उस वक्त तक आगे बढ़ाना और दूसरी टीम को परेशान करना जारी रखा जब तक कि उसे लोग लेग बिफोर विकेट घोषित नहीं किया जाने लगा। बिली जोन्स भी पैड पर गेंद लगने से आउट घोषित किया गया। एलबीडब्ल्यू के मामले में फैसले से सब लोग खुश नहीं थे। अमित अली ने कहा, हमारे पास तटस्थ अंपायर होने चाहिए। रणजी ने कहा, लेकिन अंपायर बनना ही कौन चाहता है? उसे ऐसा कोई बंदा नहीं मिलेगा। हमें अपने ही टीम के सदस्यों को इसके लिए इस्तेमाल करना पड़ेगा, या फिर दूसरी टीम को ही दोनों अंपायर उपलब्ध करा कर देने होंगे। लंबू ने कहा, आज के बाद नहीं। इस बीच कागज के थैलों में भरकर समोसा और जलेबी लेकर मुकेश और राकेश मैदान में पहुंच गए। इस खुशी में वहां पर बैठे सभी लोगों ने उल्लास के साथ उनका स्वागत किया। जिस तेजी के साथ समोसा और जलेबी खाई जा रही थी, उसी रफ्तार के साथ विकेटों का भी पतन होता जा रहा था। राकेश और मुकेश, जो कि अंतिम खिलाड़ी के रूप में क्रीज पर कई ओवरों तक डटे रहे, जब तक कि आखिरकार राकेश को लोग लेग बिफोर विकेट घोषित नहीं किया गया। इस तरीके से रणजी की टीम कुल 87 रन बनाकर धराशायी हो गई। यह स्कोर किसी भी मामले में मैच को जिताने के लिए काफी नहीं था, बस महज इसके कि पिच कुछ गुल खिला दे। जब पब्लिक स्कूल टीम की बल्लेबाजी करनी थी, उनके ओपनर बल्लेबाजों में से एक बिना अपना खाता खोले लंबू की गेंद पर आउट हो गया। रणजी की गेंद दो बार दूसरे बल्लेबाजों की पैड पर आकर लगी थी, लेकिन गेंदबाज के द्वारा एलडब्ल्यू की जबरदस्त अपील को पब्लिक स्कूल के अंपायर ने खारिज कर दिया था। उनका ऐसा करना स्वाभाविक भी था। खुद से बात करते हुए रणजी ने एक बहुत तेज गति की गेंद फेंकी। वह तेजी के साथ उठी और बल्लेबाज के हाथ पर जाकर लगी। दर्द से कराते हुए बल्लेबाज ने अपना बल्ला छोड़ दिया और अपने हाथ को दबाने लगा। फिर उसने सभी को अपनी सूजी हुई उंगली दिखाई और फिर रिटायर हर्ट होने का फैसला लेकर वापस चला गया। जैसे ही रंजी अंपायर के पास से गुजरा, उसने बुदबुदाकर बोला, आउट करने के और भी तरीके हैं। अगले दो बल्लेबाज अच्छे खिलाड़ी थे। वे सलामी बल्लेबाजों की तरह नर्वस नहीं थे। उनमें से एक बल्लेबाज के बल्ले पर लंबू की बाहर निकलती गेंद का शायद बहुत महीन किनारा लगा, लेकिन भीम ने संदेह का लाभ दिया। दरअसल भीम एक अंपायर के रूप में अपनी निष्पक्षता के लिए जाना जाता है, जो अपनी खुद की टीम के प्रति भी पक्षपात नहीं करता था, चाहे टीम के अंपायर ने कुछ भी क्यों न किया हो। रणजी को लगा भीम का इतना निष्पक्ष होना ठीक नहीं था। यहाँ पे मैं पूछना चाहूंगी आप सभी से कि आपको लगता है कि निष्पक्ष होना चाहिए कि पक्षपात करना चाहिए? क्या होना चाहिए?
मैम इक्वल होना चाहिए।
इक्वल यानी निष्पक्ष?
यस मैम, निष्पक्ष।
तो यानी चीटिंग नहीं करनी चाहिए और हमें जो राइट है उसके लिए बोलना चाहिए। ऐसा खाली गेम्स के लिए होना चाहिए, स्पोर्ट्स के लिए, कि अपने लाइफ में भी होना चाहिए?
मैम लाइफ में भी होना चाहिए।
लाइफ के लिए भी।
बट कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम लोग छोटी छोटी बात को इग्नोर कर देते हैं, बाद में हमें लगता है कि नहीं, सही नहीं किया हमने, उसको हम काम कर सकते थे और आगे बढ़ा सकते थे। ऐसा लगता है कभी कभी? यस गरिमा? हाँ गरिमा, आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं?
Yes, ma'am. It happens a lot of time with me.
ओके। हम सभी के साथ ऐसा होता है कि कई बार हम टाइम मैनेज नहीं कर पाते हैं और बाद में हम सोचते हैं कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए, टाइम कहाँ पे चला गया। तो निष्पक्ष हमेशा रहना चाहिए, चीटिंग एंड पार्शियल बिहेवियर कभी भी नहीं होना चाहिए। तीसरे और चौथे नंबर के बल्लेबाजों ने आपस में मिलाकर 40 रन जोड़े और दोपहर होने तक रणजी की टीम के खिलाड़ी भूख और थकान के कारण निढाल हो चुके थे। लेकिन तभी सीताराम की स्पिन गेंदबाजी के बदौलत रणजी की टीम ने जल्दी जल्दी 3 विकेट चटके। लेकिन अभी भी 3 विकेट बचे हुए थे और पब्लिक स्कूल को जीत के लिए 20 रनों की जरूरत थी। तभी कैच लपकने के लिए दौड़ पड़े। भरतू और मुकेश आपस में टकरा गए और घास में गिर गए। लेकिन जब से उठे तो पाया कि गेंद मुकेश के पैन के पिछले हिस्से में फंसी हुई थी। हालांकि गेंद यहाँ कैसे पहुंची इसके बारे में कोई भी नहीं बता पा रहा था और वो दोनों ही असमर्थ थे। काफी चर्चा और विचार विमर्श के बाद दोनों अंपायरों को इस बात पर सहमत होना पड़ा कि गेंद लपकी गई थी और कैच उचित था, और फिर उन्होंने बल्लेबाज को आउट घोषित कर दिया। लेकिन इस पूरी घटनाक्रम में भर्तू की नाक पर चोट लग गई थी और खून वहां से बह रहा था, इसलिए उसे मैदान छोड़कर जाना पड़ा। रंजीत ने भर्तू की जगह किसी और को मैदान में उतारने के लिए इधर उधर देखा, पर उसके अलावा उसे कोई और नजर नहीं आ रहा था। रंजी ने कोकी की ओर देखा और कठोरता से कहा, मैदान में तुरंत आओ। कोकी को मनाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं पड़ी। उसने तुरंत अपनी सैंडल को उतारा और नंगे पैर मैदान में दौड़ती हुई चली आई और फिर सीमा रेखा के पास एक खिलाड़ी के रूप में खड़ी हो गई। अंतिम क्रम के बल्लेबाज अब बचे हुए रन को बनाने के लिए बेताब कोशिश करने के चक्कर में बल्ले को इधर उधर घुमा रहे थे। एक जोर से लगाया गया शॉट तेजी से कोकी के पास से होते सीमा रेखा को 4 रनों के लिए चला गया। रणजी ने उसकी तरफ गुस्से से देखा, लेकिन तभी तेज रन बनाने के चक्कर में क्रीज पर मौजूद दोनों बल्लेबाज आपस में भिड़ गए और उसमें से एक रन आउट हो गया। अब अंतिम बल्लेबाज क्रीज पर पहुंचा। अभी भी पब्लिक स्कूल 8 रन से पीछे थी और निश्चित रूप से 2 बाउंड्री जिताने के लिए काफी था। इस बीच बल्लेबाज 2 रन और दौड़ पड़े और फिर उनमें से एक अति आत्मविश्वास और जीत के लिए आश्वस्त होने के चक्कर में सीताराम की धीमी लालच देने वाली गेंद पर अपना संयम खो बैठा और जोरदार हिट मारने के चक्कर में उसने गेंद को हवा में कोकी की तरफ मार दिया। इस कैच को लेने के लिए कोकी को अपनी जगह से कुछ गज की दूरी पर दौड़ना पड़ा और फिर उसने गेंद की तरफ हिरण की तरह छलांग लगाई और गेंद को दोनों हाथों से लपक लिया और इस तरीके से रणजी की टीम ने मैच जीत लिया और कोकी ने विजयी कैच पकड़ा। इस तरह से कोकी 12वीं खिलाड़ी के रूप में आखिरी बार दिखाई दी। उस दिन के बाद से वह टीम की नियमित सदस्य बन गई थी। तो कैसी लगी कहानी आपको? अच्छी लगी स्टोरी आपको? एनी कमेंट्स? क्या सीखा हमने आज की कहानी से? अमेजिंग, युवराज कह रहे। तो कुछ सीखा हमने इस कहानी से आज की?
Yes, ma'am.
क्या सीखा बेटा?
I learned that girls are no less, and if given equal opportunities, they can do way far better than boys.
We have to
वन
follow the truth only.
वंडरफुल। सो आपने देखा होगा कि कोकी वॉज द ओनली गर्ल एंड ग्रुप में सारे टीम में सबके सब बच्चे जो थे वो लड़के थे। तो इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी यस कोकी को मिली, बीइंग अ गर्ल शी गॉट अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड उसने अपने आप को प्रूव किया। अभी तक वो लास्ट पार्टिसिपेंट थी, ऑन द स्पॉट उसे लिया गया था, बट उसके बाद से वो रेगुलर टीम का हिस्सा बन गई। तो कभी भी जब आपको मौका मिले तो आप ये मत सोचो कि आप काम कर पाओगे कि नहीं, उसे लपक करके भाग करके उस अपॉर्चुनिटी को लो और गिव योर बेस्ट। सो ये कहानी हमें ये सिखाती है कि अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती है, बट उसे कैसे ग्रैब करना है, कैसे उस अपॉर्चुनिटी के साथ आगे बढ़ करके हमें अपना बेस्ट देना है, वो हमारे हाथ में। क्योंकि आगे भागे बिना एक लेजी की तरह वहां खड़े भी हो सकती थी तो उसे विनिंग कैच नहीं भी मिल सकता था। तो विनिंग कैच उसने लिया, दैट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ हर स्ट्रेंथ एंड हर ओन अंडरस्टैंडिंग। सो यस, टीम में रह के मल्टीटास्क करना होता है, बहुत कुछ हमें नई चीजें करनी होती है, नई चीजें सीखनी होती है, एंड वो कोकी ने बहुत अच्छे से हमें समझाया। युवराज यहाँ पे कह रहे हैं वी शुड नेवर अंडर एस्टिमेट समवन। वेरी गुड युवराज, आपके थॉट्स बहुत अच्छे हैं, हमें अंडर एस्टिमेट तो बिल्कुल भी किसी को नहीं करना चाहिए। कोई और कुछ कहना चाहेगा?
हाँ जी मैम। सो बेसिकली आपने जो पहले सवाल पूछा था और जवाब थे नर्वस हो रहे थे, इसका वही है कि आपको नर्वस आप इसलिए हो रहे हो क्योंकि आप रिजल्ट के बारे में सोच रहे हो। राइट, तो मेन चीज है आपको जो करना है उसका, उस पे फोकस करना है, रिजल्ट पे फोकस नहीं करना। सो दैट वाज वन थॉट आई हैड ऑन
स्पोर्ट्समैनशिप।
जो आपने अभी कहानी पढ़ी और जो पहले चर्चा हो रही थी उसके बारे में यही मेरा ध्यान आया कि यही है कि आप नर्वस हो जाते हैं क्योंकि आप रिजल्ट के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, परिणाम के बारे में सोच रहे हैं। आपको फोकस करना है अपने प्रोसेस पे, मैंने क्या करना है।
एग्जैक्टली। सो हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि हम क्या करेंगे, कैसे करेंगे, अपने आप को कैसे बेहतरीन बनाएंगे। बाकी ठीक है, उसको हम एक तरफ रख देते हैं कि उसका रिजल्ट क्या आने वाला है। रिजल्ट तो हमेशा अच्छा ही होता है। या तो हम कुछ नई चीजें सीखते हैं उस रिजल्ट से, या फिर हमें ये लगता है कि हाँ ये चीज हमें काम नहीं करी। तो कुछ चीजें
एक
काम करती हैं, कुछ नहीं करती है, बट सीखने को हमेशा हमें मिलता है। तो हमें हार या जीत के बारे में नहीं सोच के उससे क्या लर्निंग है, क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी है, इसके बारे में सोचना चाहिए। एंड डिटर्मिनेशन, यस, कंसिस्टेंसी विद डिटर्मिनेशन, पेशेंस, स्पोर्ट्समैनशिप, ये सारी चीजें तो होनी ही चाहिए।
आपने लक के बारे में सवाल किया था, तो एक बहुत फेमस गोल्फ प्लेयर रहे हैं गैरी प्लेयर, उनकी बहुत फेमस कोट है, वो है द हार्डर आई प्रैक्टिस द लकियर आई गेट।
वंडरफुल।
द हार्डर आई प्रैक्टिस द लकियर आई गेट।
बिकॉज हमें सर आदत पड़ जाती है। जब हम प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तो प्रैक्टिस हमें क्या बोलता है, हमें ये बताता है कि एक ही चीज को कितना हम आगे बढ़ाएं और उसी चीज से हम आगे बढ़ के कितने स्विफ्टली, कितने अच्छे तरीके से उस काम को कंप्लीट करें। सो ऑटोमेटिकली हमारा ब्रेन और हमारे जो लिम्स है वो काम करने लगते हैं। तो जितना ज्यादा हम प्रैक्टिस करेंगे उतनी ज्यादा एफिशिएंसी आएगी. सो हार्डर वी प्रैक्टिस, वी बिकम मोर एफिशिएंट. दैट्स वंडरफुल. कोई और कुछ कहना चाहेगा? लास्ट वर्ड. तो सबने कुछ ना कुछ रेजोल्यूशन बनाया होगा, कुछ आपने सोचा होगा न्यू ईयर्स के बारे में. सोचिए, नहीं अगर सोचा है, एंड प्लीज डू समथिंग, लर्न अ न्यू स्किल, क्योंकि आज हमारे चैप्टर में भी ये बताया गया है कि स्किल्स कितने इंपॉर्टेंट है. हमारे क्विज का भी वही पार्ट था कि कुछ ना कुछ तो नया सीखना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि जब तक हम कुछ नया नहीं सीखते हैं हमारा साल वैसे का वैसे ही रहता है, वो न्यू में चेंज नहीं होता है. तभी हम हैप्पी न्यू ईयर बोलते हैं, एंड वी डोंट से वेलकम 2026. वेलकम 2026 की जगह हम आपस में ग्रीट करते हैं हैप्पी न्यू ईयर, नव वर्ष मंगलमय हो. इस थॉट के साथ आई एंड टुडे सेशन. थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग. नेक्स्ट वीक हम फिर आएंगे नई कहानी के साथ, बट उसके पहले प्लीज रिफ्लेक्शन लिखिए, क्योंकि जब आप लिखते हैं तो आप अपने पेरेंट्स को, अपने फ्रेंड्स को, सबको हमारे लिंक भी आप फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हैं. उसमें सब देख के खुश भी होंगे कि आपके रिफ्लेक्शन वेबसाइट्स पे है. तो आप खुद भी बहुत अच्छा महसूस करेंगे, और आपके पेरेंट्स, आपके फ्रेंड्स, आपके टीचर्स आपके ऊपर प्राउड भी फील करेंगे. और टीचर्स ही क्यों, हम लिखते हैं अपने लिए, अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग को एनहांस करने के लिए. सो प्लीज एनहांस योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. टाटा, बाय बाय, टेक केयर.